Everyone, thanks for joining. We'll give everybody another minute to join. So hang tight. All right, I think that's enough time. So we'll hop into things now. Again, thanks for joining. This is now our third webinar as part of our series in which we're talking about the different values of BrainOS and the solutions we're bringing to customers. Today, we're going to be talking about how the BrainOS platforms helps customers easily manage their robotics programs. So a few housekeeping notes before we get into things. So we will be recording this and we'll send a link afterwards. As part of that, we'll also send out a survey in which you can give feedback on this webinar, as well as future presentations you'd like to see. And if you have any questions, please feel free to submit those at any point throughout today's presentation, and we will try to get to those at the end. If we do not, we will follow up via email. The agenda for today. So quick BrainCorp overview, quick overview on BrainOS, and then we'll spend most of our time going through the operation tools, as well as talking about new features that make up that tool set, and then leave time for Q&A again at the end. Your speakers for today. So I will be your host. My name is Gavin Donnelly. I head up marketing here at BrainCorp, and we're lucky to be joined by David McAllister, who is our staff technical program manager. Thanks for waving, David. So David brings a lot of product knowledge as well as customer knowledge sitting in the program space. So lucky to have him here, and he'll be able to speak again about the operation tools as well as offer customer insight.
Thanks for having me on.
So for BrainCorp, if you haven't joined some of the other webinars, just want to provide a quick recap of what we do. So what we really do is we help automate customers' operations. And so we know that teams really with the right tools can do a lot. Many teams these days are struggling though with labor shortages, which really equates to a lack of resources. And so our goal is to provide intelligent tools and solutions to organizations that helps make their workforces more productive, more efficient, and in the end, more sustainable. And we're doing this with our BrainOS platform. So what BrainOS does essentially is it converts manual operations into automated workflows. And so with this platform, we really package our solutions into different suites. So we have the Clean Suite and the Sense Suite. The Clean Suite, so when you purchase an autonomous scrubber or an autonomous vacuum powered by BrainOS, what you're getting is you're getting autonomy, you're getting flexible mapping, you're getting performance services, and you're also getting operations tools. And of course, today is what we're going to go through some of these operations tools. With the Sense Suite, what you can get is really added inventory management and site management. So again, customers can leverage these suites to help automate their workflows. Going into today, again, we're going to talk about operations tools, specifically the mobile app we offer, the Fleet Ops portal, and the email reports. And so David will go through each of these tools, talk about the values it brings to customers, who's using these, as well as some of the features that are part of these tools. So without further ado, let me hand it off to you, David.
All right, thanks, Gavin. Yeah, so just kind of getting started here, holistically talking through our tool chain, and really the key part of this is metrics and data. So what drives all these different values. So cleaning compliance is a huge one, huge value of the data and what the tools can help you understand. I mean, essentially, are you compliant with your corporate cleaning health standards, with your KPIs and goals for the cleaning equipment and tools that you have? Are they getting used when they should be used? Are they in misuse? Are they operating as expected? Are you getting the value you expect, right? Are you really automating these workflows? And so the metrics and data that we have available through a bunch of different endpoints, which I'm going to cover later, like a mobile app or a web browser or an email report, allows you to check this and ensure that you are compliant with your cleaning plans and expectations. So one of those underlying insights is how many additional hours of productivity have I gotten, right? So the way I like to think about it is, what are you now enabling by running the robot instead? So instead of riding that scrubber around, what is my associates, employees, or myself, what am I doing instead? So this allows me, if I look at autonomy hours, it lets me show like what other additional productivity have I unlocked? How many hours of other tasks have I enabled with the robot? And again, you can glean this insight and understanding from the metrics that come from our robots. And so the kind of the final piece of this puzzle, or I would say the final value here, and certainly this is not all-encompassing list, but things that we like to think about here at Brain, is how do I take this information? How am I meeting, exceeding expectations with cleaning compliance and operations? What other tasks am I accomplishing? What other how much productivity have I added in my workflow? How do I use this information to optimize my organization as a whole, right? Like, can I be better using the robot? Maybe I'm going to use different techniques or different areas. Maybe I'm going to change the way that I'm scheduling labor or deploying the robots, things like that. Like, so when you can take these, you can use your data-driven insights to make modifications to your operational workflow. So this allows you to optimize what you're doing at your site. So a core question that we can answer with a Brain robot is, how do I know my facility is getting cleaned? Proof of clean, right? This is a key question. Normally, you either need someone to directly observe this for you, like a manager or oversight. You have to have some sort of manual tracking. This is automated and fairly foolproof. And there's no real way to hide from the sensor suite and data on the robot in terms of how it's being operated, which includes manual and automatic data, but especially automatic data. You can really prove the facility is being cleaned. So, a good example would be, and this could be unique to a Brain robot, would be even if you have a third-party operator, but you have access to the data for the machine, you have proof of clean. So one of the tools to confirm this is the BrainOS mobile app, available on Android and iOS. And we see kind of a bunch of different users for this. And this is not true for all of our tools, but I feel like this is our most broad on-the-go tool for accessing your data and metrics, understanding this data clean. So site managers, operators can, on a single machine, you can check its status, see where it is, see how many square feet it cleaned. I'll get some more details here, get notifications. So if you're an operator, this is another tool for you to know if it needs to have its tanks dump and fill, if it needs to be charged, if it's completed a route, it needs to be assigned to its next task. And it includes also, and we'll cover this in detail, but training information. For a regional manager, you can also look at a fleet of machines. So maybe you travel a lot, you're not in front of a laptop. This is a really convenient way to access this data on multiple machines on the go, where you're not on the location. You don't need to physically observe the robot, then you can do it right from your mobile device. So just looking at some of the a detailed view here, this video on the right gives you an idea of the different views, charts, plots of this data. So it gives you a holistic understanding of the performance of the machine, right? When we're looking at how many hours it ran, how often it may have assist, how many square feet it accomplished in a day-over-day basis. When we're looking at the routes run, so you can see, hey, did I run it in this section of the store and not this one, or this part of my facility or another. Assists are really a key part to understanding how the robot is performing. How often is it stopping and requiring operator intervention? You can see it as a trend over time. If you're maybe a manager, you can have an insight, maybe like, hey, that on Tuesdays, it really struggles. And this lets you kind of ask, well, why? And you can take next steps to address that. Or hopefully we see more customers being able to trend this down. And again, this gives you not only a per day, but you can look over an adjustable period of time, like 7 days, 30 days, or some of the presets that we have in the app. Next slide, please. So one of the things I mentioned, and is a really cool feature in the mobile app, is the cleaning status. So You don't have to physically observe the machine. You could be off doing another task, or maybe you're not actually directly operating the machine, but you can see its status and location on the map. So on the right hand of your screen, it's showing a robot that's in progress with its cleaning route. It's telling you roughly how much runtime it has left on that route that it's been programmed to run, when it's hoping to complete that, and where it is in that given route, and the battery life that it has. So this kind of would allow you to predict when you need to go task it next, when it will complete this route, or planning ahead for a dump and fill or a battery charge. And again, you can see within this app, you can see where an assist occurred by looking at some of the assist view will show you pictures from the cameras and the cause, and all the sorts of really excellent details that you get from the data coming from your robot. So finally, for beyond just the metrics and data coming from the robot, one of the things that we have learned at Brain here is that training materials are really key to customer success. And so we want to make sure that we have available through a bunch of different ways, including the mobile app, training materials on your robots. You get the most out of it, so that when you have maybe new employees or new operators that come in contact with the robot or need to use the robot, have quick and easy access to a variety of materials. So in the mobile app, we have what we call the Learning Center, includes videos, animations, quick start guides, some troubleshooting tips, and it has things from the basics to some more detailed information about, like, hey, where the sensors are in the machine, how you clean them. And it's just a powerful resource for helping people get the robots running. And it's also available directly through a web browser at that learn.brainos.com location.
And one thing I want to call out here is, if you've been to the Learning Center before, I definitely want to invite you to check it out again within the mobile app. We just released a new version. So you can see with the video on the right, and with what David was talking about, it's broken down now into the different experience of the user. So there's a basic section, there's a more advanced section, including learning more about the robot in terms of someone that may already know the robot but wants to learn more or become more of an expert, as well as the FAQs and the troubleshooting tips, really trying to get down to, if someone is running into a trouble, making sure that they have the tools to really easily be able to fix that issue on their own.
Okay, great point. And I would also call out for those of you who say, what if I don't have the mobile app? It is free, by the way. Anyone can download it. You don't need an account to use it. But you can also access training materials directly on the robot through the Learning Center there. So we have lots of options there. But really excited for the updates, as Gavin mentioned. So app feedback. This is also something that's new and exciting about the app. This is just some real reviews from our app users providing feedback. Brain constantly monitors this and looks into what sort of requests, what sort of positives, the highs and lows. And we like to be able to use this to help guide our future developments and investigations into potential issues, or perhaps future functionalities to help continue to craft and update a really good experience for our customers, both on the robot and on the mobile app. And next slide, here we go. So moving on to our next tool, the FleetOps portal. So this is a web-based interface that includes all sorts of detailed dashboards. And when we say drill down, compared to the mobile app, this is allows you to really focus in and dial in your reports, details, and on a specific time frame, day, robot, groups of robots. It's just this is a very powerful, I would call it maybe a super user tool almost, to analyze the metrics that are coming off the robot in both a narrow focus or a very high level focus. So depending on who you are, how you use our robots, there's a lot of options here. So like to get into it, a site manager, you can look into the details of a single machine, check the metrics, right? Regional machines. you can track performance use across a whole fleet. So this is a great example of a dashboard here that will, for a single machine, you can see this is a 1-year trend view. So this is a great high level view of how things are trending over time. You recognize these metrics, but visualized here in the portal. Sys per hour, which is a good performance indicator, square foot per hour, how efficient, productive is the machine, and then autonomous use, right? So the machines are both a great manual and an automatic cleaning machine. So getting to understand what percent of autonomous use you're getting, which, as we mentioned before, helps enable the operators to accomplish other tasks in parallel, improve their efficiency and impact to the organization. So that's just a great way to keep an eye on that by looking at the autonomous usage, and it's all in this easy to digest dashboard. So a detailed drill in here. So this animation here shows you a route by route breakdown. So you have a map which shows where it had cleaned, where it has not cleaned. So a good common example is there's maybe a customer, or if you're in a commercial space, maybe that someone else is working in that area and the robot navigates around it. You can see that for that area and that time. You see when it started, when it finished. You can sort this by the site, the date ranges, look at different metrics. And again, it's just a really powerful tool to really dive in the details of your operations of your robot. Okay, on to our last tool here. This is the email report. So the mobile app, just kind of a recap, that can be paired at the machine, no credentials required, on the go. Portal and the Fleet Ops is a web-based tool, requires an account. We'll talk about how you can get access at the end, but it's not too difficult. Just reach out to your account manager, and gives you that detailed drill down. This tool is a push, so you don't have to seek it out. It will push email reports to your inbox, and we have 2 flavors at this point, really. There's a daily and a weekly report. And again, we see different applications where we could have a single site report or a regional, or a group of sites. And it really lets you know in a push perspective what's been going on. So again, these metrics are common, but you will see in these email reports area cleaned, autonomous hours, percentage of autonomous versus manual, how long it was run, which route runs were run, heat maps, and how many assists, and what the root causes were. So this gives you, just in a snapshot view, a report of your robot performance without any special tools, just right into your inbox, which is a super convenient way to digest your robot's data. And so now onto the final, I think, technical topic here for today, a new feature we've just released, site maps. So site maps, and I think is what we're trying to aim for here is a more holistic view of robot operations. So what you see on your screen right now is our current route view. Many of you who've looked at our portal tools and the email reports, mobile app, will be used to these sort of route views. What a sitemap does is it combines routes on a single home marker into a single site map. So it basically connects them and gives you a holistic, high-level view of all the routes on a given home marker. So this is an example from a retailer. I actually personally visited this one, and it allows you to see, so each of these different colors represents a different route. So previously, you'd be looking at an independent map in like a list, like you saw in the email report, for each route and how it worked. This combines them all into one top-down view of the store, where you can see all the different areas of this retail space, like the different sections, like grocery or general merchandise, and the checkout lanes. And you can interact with this as well. I think we've got more details, but one of the cool features that I want to call out on this is it also gives you an idea of all the clean space. This is the upper right-hand corner. What percent was cleaned in this time period? So this is a week time period. But one of the fun insights that I'll share from my personal visit here was when we showed this to an operator, they realized that the route overlap was greater than they expected. So they were wasting time by overlapping in a middle section here too much. So this kind of like purple magenta colors, and immediately wanted to go out and retrain and update these routes so that they had less overlap and more efficient routes for these different sections of the store. So this view that you see here is how you would view sitemap data in the portal. And what I want to call out quickly, or in FleetOps, what I want to call out quickly on our website is that you can see a sitemap report in email, website, and the mobile app. As is typical in the web, we have the most detailed drill down views. So you can zoom, you can hide and show routes. This is being animated here, which it really lets you get into the nitty gritty and gives you like a kind of a live viewable map of your whole site, and it can be just super helpful for really understanding where it was cleaned and where it was not cleaned at a site level, which is before much harder to understand. And this gives you kind of a view that you represent from maybe a planogram of your site or location. So this calls out some of the details of the web interface. So you can see there's a drop down in the middle, top middle here, home marker 1, upper right hand corner. Again, it gives you a percent of area cleaned in this week time span. So this says that we've cleaned 34,000 square feet roughly of the 34,000 square feet that we have trained to run autonomously. So just at a glance, you can say, hey, this week, did I clean all of my location? And then it gives you a square foot per day breakdown in the chart below. Moving beyond that, you can see how many route runs were done, how many were not completed, right? Maybe it assisted or the operator needed to reassign the robot mid-route. And then you can also look at a detailed route history view. As we showed before, you can see they're labeled and color coded, and you can hide them with that little eye icon. Again, this is very interactive, dynamic interface, lets you view this data in a way that helps you with optimizing your operations, understanding what's been cleaned, what hasn't been cleaned in your site. So as I mentioned before, there's multiple ways to see this. So you've got your the portal view we covered, that's the drill down interactive view on your left. You've got the mobile app, which will also show a sitemap view and the location. So that new powerful view is included in the mobile app now. And then also you have a weekly sitemap review, which gives you some of that snapshot pre-configured reports from your sitemap tech on your emails directly. And it's the weekly site clean. And it gives you some scores and other new metrics here with this new updated map model. All right, so you might be asking, how do I get it? The short answer, talk to your account representative. So Sitemaps is now available fleet-wide for machines that have been updated to 361 or newer. And what you need to do is contact your account rep to enable this feature, and that will unlock this. We'll start your robot collecting this type of data and unlock these reporting tools and metrics for you to view. So we're really excited to get people engaged in this new technology in the fleet.
Awesome. Thank you so much, David. That was really great. Before we get into questions, just want to recap on essentially why leaders are choosing the BrainOS platform and specifically the solutions that make that up. So we have this proven autonomy. We have the most machines deployed within the commercial public spaces. They've driven more hours and more mileage than any other platform. So you're getting proven and trusted navigation. You're also getting a simple user experience, both on the operator and the manager side. So David walked through some of these tool sets and these operations tools. You also get on the machine a really simple user experience so that it becomes really easy to enable any janitor to become a robot expert. You also, again, you get these comprehensive tools and services. So that's what we went through today, from the mobile app to the email reports to the portal, as well as performance services, so that we're constantly with you to make sure that your robotics program is successful. And you're also getting a flexible set of solutions. So whether it's clean or sensing, which includes inventory management or site management, really whatever your autonomous needs are, we can help meet those. And again, we'll be with you throughout the whole process. So let's get into questions. I think we have about 5 minutes. First question, David, is really around the idea you talked about the different audiences, and within mobile app, you talked about operators being able to use the mobile app. With the maps and the different data sets, what are some of the, what can operators do with that information?
Yeah, so one of the examples that we talked about and is a good one. They can plan their future cleaning activities based on that data, knowing, hey, I cleaned here, did not clean there, I covered this area, not that. Or they can look into things like optimizing the training of the robot. So I would like to modify this route because I've noticed it gets stuck a lot, or I have noticed that it doesn't fully cover the area I thought it did. Being able to, the mobile app really, especially for operators, this tool gives you so much more rich data without having to have an account on the robot operations you didn't have before. And is in this dynamic mobile format, and it's just a really powerful tool. So in the past, an operator would have really only had notifications via SMS without an account. And now you have all this data at your fingertips to, like I said, kind of adjust a route, adjust your cleaning plans, and maybe even plan future days or next steps for your given work day, all using this cool data that's now right there on your mobile device.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's really interesting. I think when looking at the app reviews that we're seeing, it was interesting seeing how the operators were talking about the app, and just seeing that they now can understand, if they're coming in on Wednesday night and someone else was in charge of Tuesday night, they now understand where the person cleaned on Tuesday night, so they now know where they should clean on Wednesday night. So all of a sudden, you're getting a lot more efficient in making sure that you're getting full coverage of your cleaning tasks. And yeah, I think what you mentioned too on the assists, I think that also becomes really interesting. And you mentioned at Tuesday, if you're getting a lot of assists, I think all of a sudden an operator or manager might realize, well, maybe that's when we're doing our stocking. And so you can see within the assists that it's being caused by a path block. Maybe that means you should do another time, right? So yeah, to all your points, I think all that becomes really interesting to the operator and the manager, and really extends value across. Another question we received is, I think you mentioned this, but how can you get the mobile app? Is it available on both iOS and Android?
Yes, it certainly is available on all platforms.
Okay. Next question is, you talked about how you can get some of these operation management tools. Can you talk about how to get sitemaps?
Yes. So the enabling, enabling sitemaps again starts at the robot level. So you contact your account manager, representative, depending on your organization or how you obtain the robot, and request for your site that it be enabled. At that point, basically we turn it on remotely via the cloud, and it starts collecting that map data in the new model, and we'll begin, after some runtime, populating sitemaps data into your web application, into your mobile app. And if you subscribe to the email report with your account representative, you'll also start getting that email report weekly.
Great. And then I think time for one more question. So looks like we got a question. I want to make a robot using BrainOS. How do I essentially do that? I guess my first advice would be to reach out on Contact Us to talk about that. We do enable a host of different solutions, and we work with manufacturers to do that. Our goal is to bring end customers real value, and we're doing that across different, again, I mentioned Clean and Sense. But again, I'd say please reach out to us via our contact us on our website. David, I'm not sure if you have anything to add to that.
No, that's correct. There's not, I guess, there's not some sort of technical manual that you can download. Well, you reach out to Brain directly and get engaged to see if there's an application that you can work on together.
Awesome. Well, that brings us right to 11:30. David, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to everyone who joined, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks, Kevin. Thanks everyone for joining. Have a good one.